spanned over 33 years. And as soon as he was discovered that he was making notes on all this stuff, he went into hiding. It was back in 1990, so this is a pretty old document, I guess. But I just love that he was like, he tried to get this, or they discovered, I guess, that he was trying to like document all this stuff, and then he was targeted for termination. And then he managed to escape in some crazy
early retirement
that I imagined in my head.
It's so corporate.
But I mean,
termination.
I was just thinking. It's interesting that he wasn't allowed to get this stuff out, but the people who put the document together, they were fine. That's fine. We got it out.
Everybody needs a reason for the story to start, right?
Right. Yeah.
Injustice. Hiding.
Justice. Yeah. I just imagine this like, it's just the crazy start of an awesome like action movie. Escaping with documents. Anyway, so we get through, I just wanted to go through some of the, I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff in here, and like I said, if I can post it without infringing on any copyrights, I will. But just you have to go through towards the end, like page, let's see, what are we on? I think it starts around page 50 somewhere when they start doing these like full page illustrations of all these different crazy creatures. And man, it is just some great stuff. There's like lizards wearing turbans.
Wow.
There's these crazy like gargoyle like demon things, and there's Baraka from Mortal Kombat. If you've ever played that game, he's in there too.
I remember that.
Oh
guy.
Man, there's like this guy with an asshole for a head with antenna coming out of it. It is just wacky stuff, and I just can't get enough of it. What? I really can't.
This is not on the Wikipedia page.
There's like a jellyfish that looks like a pile of vomit. It's great. It's good stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any of the classic
special
ones in there, or is it all just weird?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I don't know who drew these, but I'm sure this person is a maniac. It's just the drawings are just like so like heavily detailed and like crazy. There's the classic greys, and there's like insectoids. There's like a Bigfoot in there as well, which is pretty cool.
Oh, I'm in. You got me.
But yeah, there seems to be like that classic grey look seems to be so many variations on that. Like they range from that really androgynous robot-y looking black eyes and just pallid grey skin kind of thing, all the way to fairly kind of human looking, but also, they have that really simple face structure that the greys have. So I don't. It seems
that always confuses me about alien species. It's like what are the greys? There's clear evidence from inside. Not evidence. People have told stories of how they're biological entities that are created to serve them. But then there's also tall ones that seem intelligent. So are they based off them? Like what's going on there? Are there some that are biological and some that we created? Is there a mix of them? Are they all created? Like I don't get it. Like the gray thing is confusing, and I just want to like move on from it. But
it seems like
about it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, let's talk about it. It seems like, when you think about when we talked about David Jacobs, that whole breeding program where they were trying to cross genetics between us and, was it the mantids?
Yeah. They're really bad at it, though, because it's taking a long time. But yes, go on.
Yeah. I mean, these things take time. I get it.
Wait, hold on, wait. I just found an article from NBC News that says space aliens are breeding with humans, university instructor says.
What?
Yeah. Outlandish claim has a secret breeding program creating alien-human hybrids who can survive climate change. That's why people are getting abducted, because they're making human hybrids that can survive climate change.
Wow, I never heard that angle
Jacobs?
before. That's actually compelling.
Yeah,
is that David Jacobs?
Yeah, he's mentioned in this article, but there's literally a university director at Temple University who is who's teaching about this stuff.
Huh?
Sorry, not Temple University. I'm sorry, that was David Jacobs because he's from Temple University.
Right.
This instructor is from the University of Oxford in England.
Ooh, sounds like a smarty.
Anyway, just interesting note. Just want to drop that in there. That's NBC News, people.
No, that's crazy. I want my Twilight years. I want to be a professor at a university that teaches about like weird shit like aliens. That sounds fucking awesome. That guy's my hero.
Yeah. That'd be fun. Get a jacket with the leather arm patches and stuff. The elbow patches.
Dude. I'll be that wild, crazy professor. Yeah, it's going to be cool. Anyways, go on, Matt. What do you got? What else you got?
Oh, my God. You guys are like old school all over again.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, there's just... definitely check out this document. There's some fun stuff in there. There's it even goes through like mutilations, cattle mutilations, and human mutilations, and all the different like. There's the most common areas examined by aliens, and they have like
tell me.
Human diagram.
Is it the list? The first one?
Here's the top five areas
of the butt.
This is everything.
The body. The nasal cavity, top one.
Okay.
Ears, then eyes, then your genitalia. I'm surprised that that's at 4. Anyway,
I'd put it at 1 if I was in
Yeah.
The umbilical or navel region, but that's specifically for females only. So they prod your belly button if you're a female, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, it goes through diagrams of what abductees commonly find on their body, like needle marks and scoop marks, and where they appear, and scratch marks, and all sorts of stuff. It's pretty thorough. I mean, nothing overly mind-blowing. I've heard a lot of this stuff before, but pretty comprehensive little document.
Well, that is wicked.
Into that, yeah.
No, I love that.
fun.
You shared it with me, and I looked through it, and it seems really cool. The reason why some of these things seem legit to me is because it's so well put together. It's a lot of information. Like, who would take that much time for something that you're not going to make money off of? I don't know. And that always leads
to just
me
release it for free. Yeah,
yeah. Like, I'm a crazy person who would do something crazy like that, and I would never. But I don't think I'd ever come close to that level of detail. That's
right.
just,
You're not really good with drawings. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, yes, yes. I'm not very good. I can spew a lot of bullshit, though, for probably 30 pages, but 150, that seems crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, that was super interesting. After the break, I want to break down some amazing stuff I found related to Edgar Mitchell's research and some major studies that went down that really go into detail what people are actually experiencing and what they're actually encountering. And it's counterintuitive to what most people think is happening during the contact experience. And I have 2 great cases of people. One is Travis Walton, the other one's a lady in the 50s from UK who break down what they actually saw in their contact experience. And it's just way cooler and more interesting than what you're led to believe in the media, where everything's fear-based. It's always a gray alien doing something weird with your butt. And that is not the truth. That is just not the truth. That is not what the majority of people are saying. Some people still are experiencing some of these more obscure aliens, like the Greys and the reptilians, and having bad experiences. But the vast majority are positive or neutral, which isn't talked about a lot. Like, it's not good or bad. Just like, yeah, it happened. So right after break, I want to break down this crazy stuff and some of these books I found that really go deeply into it.
All right,
we're back, Josh. Give us that non-butt probe information.
Well, Stop it. No, go on. All right.
Butt probe. Like, shit, every time I say it, you just like,
fucking threw me off. I don't have to do it now. I don't have to do it now. I'm frozen. All right. Let me get my game back on.
Just talk about something non-proby.
Okay. All right.
No probes.
What's the girth? All right. So, okay. I'm getting serious, motherfuckers. First thing, there's a book that everyone needs to read that is awesome. It's based off an amazing study. It's called Beyond UFOs, The Science of... Stop it! It's called Beyond UFOs, The Science of Consciousness and Contact with Non-Human Intelligence. It was written by a bunch of people. It was based off a lot of research from the FREE Foundation that Edgar Mitchell started, FREE, F-R-E-E, which stands for the Foundation for Research into Extraterrestrial and Extraordinary Encounters. And this book breaks down... Ray Hernandez is the guy who's attached to it, who kind of runs this foundation, or is a part of the foundation, who I'll get to him in a second. He's super fascinating. But this study in the book breaks down 4,200 interviews with in 100 different countries with people around the world, and it goes into questions... It's just a survey, but it goes into questions related to UFOs, OBEs, NDEs, and the high strangeness associated with these events, from like people seeing ghosts and telepathy and precognition and lucid dreams and all this crazy stuff that happens when you have an experience with otherworldly intelligence, which a lot of people don't realize. OBEs and NDEs also have very similar characteristics to the UFO experience. So the one thing I want to go, the major part of this book is fascinating, goes into high strangeness, which is just something we could talk about all day long, which I'm going to go into Ray's story in a second. But the thing that blew my mind, because I heard him on a podcast like years ago talk about this study, is what people are actually seeing from alien species. This podcast is about alien species. What are people actually seeing and the percentages of it? So I have an awesome graph. Ready? So 48% of people, 48% are seeing an entity that's human-looking. 48%. So half of all experiences and abductions are human-looking. Not human, but human-looking, like a Nordic, a tall blonde model who looks good, or like a bald kind of human-looking figure. Not an alien, an insectoid, a reptilian. Most of them are not even close to that. They're more human-looking, which is surprising to people. 45% are short grays. So the grays are a significant portion of this. By the way, these percentages don't really add up, so I forget exactly how this works. So if you do the math, you're going to be like, what the fuck, Josh? That's like 170%.
Yeah. We're not real good with numbers, so just bear with us.
This is not a mathematical podcast. So
you know what it is? It does make sense. This is the types of non-human intelligent beings they encounter on the craft. So sometimes there's more than one, which is why these numbers are weird. Okay. Tall grays are about 33% of the time, other 30%, hybrids 20%, insectoid 13%, reptilian 13%, spirit ghost form 10%, large animal 5%, small animal 3%. This is all what people are seeing on a craft. A different one was here's the responses to people who, when they asked the question, how would you describe your experiences with these entities? The energy beings were mostly positive, 48% positive, 45% neutral. Human looking, 60% positive, 24% neutral. Short grays, still mostly neutral, not bad. You'd think like that would be bad. Spirit ghost forms, half and half neutral, half good. All this is good. The percentages only get negative when you get to reptilians, but still 60%.
Well, we know all about those motherfuckers, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Telepathically making you scared. Dick faces.
Right. But 60% of the people 60% of the encounters, according to the survey, were neutral. More were negative than positive. About 23% were negative, which I thought was compelling. And also, if you encountered a small or big alien, most of the time it was just a neutral experience. So I thought that was
interesting.
Now, before I go into this amazing breakdown of this woman who saw this alien in the 50s in a craft.
Well, before you go into that, I just wanted to ask you guys, we break down all those different species, and then we hear about people like Stephen Greer, who, are pretty strong in the camp of actual alien experiences are genuinely positive. I'm pretty big on this whole idea that either the beings or maybe it's a secret space military group, I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy nonsense out there, but what are the chances that a lot of these beings that people are seeing are screen memories or sort of mind control, just to freak you out kind of thing, or to throw you off completely, so if you do remember anything, it's absolute craziness, and you don't want to tell anyone because you don't want to make it seem like you're insane kind of thing.
Meaning just humans on Earth are doing it, and they're creating some kind of
just a
creature.
Crazy scenario, yeah.
We talked about that before. I'm sure there's been some cases where, what is that, Project Bluebeam? Was that the one where they did stage some
false
abductions?
Alien.
But I think
false.
There's just too many of them happening for the government to they'd have to have a full Space Force thing going on where it's just abductions. I don't think it's that big. I still think that there's real stuff happening where people are interacting with alien life forms.
Mm-hmm. Well, it could be the opposite, Matt. It could be some of these alien life forms have empathy for us, and they purposely show themselves in certain forms through technology or whatever, consciousness, to look more human.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that.
Because the story I'm about to tell in a minute, the aliens expressed empathy. So we always get into either neutral or negative, but it could be the opposite too. I don't know. So to answer your question, I think a little bit of that is going on with the false alien abductions. They're purposely fucking with people to muddy the waters. But that, I feel like that's a very small percentage of it. According to these
there is
surveys,
that whole there's that whole John Keel idea where he sort of talked about all of these different paranormal things, aliens, Bigfoot, cryptids, whatever it is, being from the same place